If you just tell your people, you free them and say you can be creative, that makes a difference. Giving people permission. Actually giving them permission and not dinging them when they do it can make a difference. Yes?
One other question. When we were talking about creative strategies and you showed us that you had the group that were building things, two-part, either what other ideas do you have? Because I think one of the challenges some of us have is, well, what are the right type of exercises? What do you get people to do? Or who are some of the people that you think are doing this that are either publishing or expressing, like, these are kind of exercises you should be doing?
Well, I think you can read Johann Roos, because he talks about this whole using your hands to build things. I read stuff by the IDEO folks.
The Ideal folks?
IDEO, I-D-E-O.
Okay.
And if you go to their website, ideo.com, you'll see stuff. I mean, I like to design firms, because they really do. They're creative and they make you think differently. They approach problems differently than the strategy people do.
Well, IDEO has really branded the process.
Yes, they have. Like, people call themselves the best design firms, but IDEO by far, I think, has branded themselves. Some stuff by Carl Weick is useful. He talks about future perfect thinking. And there's a book, Future Perfect, by Irene, I forgot her last name, somebody, but you can Google that. Actually, if you read some of my stuff, you'll look at some of the authors in my reference list.
That's at Rutgers?
Anthony Wheatley and some other folks do some work on scenario planning. Problem with scenario planning, and Wack talks about this in the HBR article, is most scenario planning is based on rationality. And so you get locked in. So you have to do what I call discontinuous thinking in order to be creative. You can't just do linear thinking. You want to get off of that curve into another curve. You want to bifurcate to a different thinking. The other thing I teach my students, I teach creativity, is that you can think visually, you can think kinesthetically, you can think orally, you can think analytically, you can think synthetically. Very few people think synthetically. But if you're using a mode of thinking, you can think metaphorically. If you're using a mode of thinking and it's not working, change your mode of thinking. If you're ever working, some people just naturally, the most gifted, I study giftedness too. So the most gifted person is the person who is synthetic and analytic. What happens with the synthetic person is, I can give you a puzzle. How many people have done 9 dots? 9 dots? Do we have a blackboard? Whiteboard? You have like 9 dots in a square, and you have to connect them with 4 lines without lifting your... Oh, he's going to get something. So I can give a person a puzzle. There's some genius puzzles I can give you. And I'll say, some people will come with solutions. So I'll ask people, how do you come with solutions? Some people will say, give me an answer that says they analyzed it. I mean, they can express how they came up with a solution. Other people can come up with a solution, it's intuitive. I can give a numerical problem, and some people just instantly know what the answer is. It's a problem about a mathematician and philosopher come together, and the mathematician knows the philosopher likes puzzles, and he asks him, they're talking, and he says, how many children do you have? And he says, 3. He says, what are the ages of the children? Well, he says I don't want to give it away, let me think that because I know the answer. The ages of the children, the ages are all integers. And he says, well, that's not enough information. Well, the product of the ages is the number of the house where we played chess years ago. That type of thing. Well, that's still not enough information. And he says, the oldest child looks like me. And then some people intuitively can tell you right away what the answer is. Anybody got the answer? No. Other people can figure out the answer analytically. So those are 2 different types of thinking. And then there's a person who can get the answer intuitively and then tell you how they got it. That's the most gifted person. Oh, good. Here's
wanna
the
try
9 dots. I don't need the pen. But here's the 9 dots. So you have to join all 9 dots with 4 straight lines without lifting the pen from the paper.